Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Eternal Night, and I'm giving you guys what you wanted. So here is my Enzo updated level 100 2.0 version. I'm gonna have to tell you this guy is insane. I've been able to let's see how far I've gone duoing. I haven't done it with 4 players, but I'm pretty sure it'll work just as fine. I'm up to Pyromaniac on hard mode. But I haven't been grinding these bosses because I just been grinding levels and materials. So anyway, so here is my level 100 build. This is gonna be more extensive video because I'm just gonna go over again all of his skills. Then I'm gonna go over the reactor, the components, the weapons, and his build Descendant modules. So first off, Enzo is your, I would say, DPS support. Unlike Eugen, where he just focuses on heals, this guy is focusing on giving your team ammo. You have his turrets, and you have his missile launchers, and he has a self-heal. So we're going to go over his passive. So his passive is fire support, and you grant fire support to allies within an area around yourself. This area, I don't really know how big it is, because it doesn't say, but I would say small to medium range, around maybe 10 meters. If you do that in like a circle or whatever. Basically, it's just giving your team capacity increase. Enzo is also good in decrypting vaults, especially the ultra encrypted vaults. So that's his passive. So let's go over his first skill, which is start supply. You basically throw a little drone on the ground like a supply crate. You go near it, you gain supplies. Field supplies in regular missions is 8% of your ammo. Intercept battles, you get 12% of your ammo. I have this, the regular cooldown is 35 seconds and 12-second duration, but when I go over my build, you'll see why the cooldown is literally is basically cut in half. The second skill is your explosive, and you just throw a missile launcher, and you get 2 of these. And that's it. So it's basically, this is more like your burst DPS skill. So as you can see, the its skill power times 837%, so its skill is pretty high. Then you have your self-healing drone, so you gain shield and shield recovery, so you get 25% shield right away and then 6% shield as it goes on. And I have this up to 11 seconds, and this is just amazing because the duration's 11 seconds, the cooldown's 14 seconds, 3-second difference. It's great. And then here is his ultimate, which is the bread and butter of the build. So what this does is you throw out your ultimate, anybody that's near you all gain a drone. The drone also shoots while they're attached to other players, and it also resupplies their ammo. This is great for bossing, this is great for hard missions, this is great overall. And on top of that, it also gives perfect support, which gives not only a firearm attack increase by 20%, firearm critical hit rate 20% increase, and a reload time modifier by 10%. So you're even reloading a lot faster. And on top of that, the drone shoots and does damage. So it shoots a lot of bullets, and then at the end, when it's about to finish, it throws like a burst damage explosive. All right. So these are all his skills. Very, very good burst support, DPS support. Now let's go over his modules first. So I prestiged them a few times, and my focus was, all right, how do I get the drone, the ultimate, up the most uptime as possible to give your team ammo, and on top of that, because it's staying as long as it is on the field, it's going to be doing a lot of damage as well. So I kind of focused my build around his ultimate. So what I did was, so here you can just put whatever you want. When you upgrade this to max, you'll gain 10 more slots. So I just use the dual claw. I don't recommend, where is it? For bossing, I don't recommend the mid-air maneuvering, even though it's really cool. It's so hard to hit the boss weak points because it'll attach in the mid-air anywhere. So if you miss it, you're just gonna be hooked in the mid-air and you're gonna miss it entirely. So I don't recommend this for Boston, but any other content moving around in the free world, definitely use it. So I want to go over the blue mods. I think the blue mods are really good. So we're gonna go with increase HP here, increase defense, skill cooldown, and skill extension. These are your bread and butter, at least for starting out. You wanna use these four as a starter, because you'll have duration, you'll have cooldown, you'll have defense, and you have HP, which is probably the HP and defense are probably the most important stats right now for survivability, right? So I went here Battle of Stamina, and the reason why is because it not only gives max HP, but skill duration. Now, you can substitute that with HP amplification. You'll gain 100% more HP, but you'll have a minus 36.5% shield, which is fine as well, because shields are kind of useless in this game right now. So whatever you guys want to run, battle stamina or amplification or HP amplification, they're both good. If you need more health, go with amplification. If you're good on health, I would recommend going with battle of stamina. Okay. Now I also went with time distribution, which helps also stack with nimble fingers. So time distribution, you get the skill cooldown and more HP. So we have almost 400% max HP with these three modules. Now, one with skill extension for more duration. Now, for this slot, for the cooldown mod, for skill duration, there's a couple options. You could go MP accelerant, or you could go maximize duration. Now, the problem with maximize duration is the skill power modifier negative 21%. So as you highlight your drone, as you can see, there's some red. It's saying the skill the times 15.9% is your skill power modifier. So this is saying, all right, we're gonna minus it by 21%, which is why the damage for the first part is skill power times 0, and anything times 0 is going to be 0. So the drone in the bullet damage phase is going to be doing 0, but the burst would just be doing times 117% rather than the times 138%. Now we can rectify this. We have here focus on singular and focus on non-attribute. These will basically cancel this out entirely, even though it doesn't show in the stats on this page. You won't you will be doing, your turret will be doing massive damage, because not only your turret is a non-attribute, but it's also a singular damage type. So we have singular skill power modifier and non-attribute power modifier. Now it also comes with skill cooldown, so that's another 12% skill cooldown. So in totality, we have 85% duration and basically 52% skill cooldown, which in totality, your cooldown's at 43 seconds for your drone, for your ultimate, and it'll last for 14 seconds. That's an extra 6.5 seconds of ammo given to your teammates and to yourself, and damage, which is amazing in my opinion. It also, the duration and the cooldown also helps your shield recovery drone, your rockets, and your supply crates. So it helps amazing. The skill power modifier only affects the drone, and sometimes some of this, because of the non-attribute, the rocket is a non-attribute, so this will help it as well. Now let me show you what it looks like when you don't have them on. As you can see, I have the dummy here. If I hit the drone, it's going to be hitting 0. But the burst is going to be doing damage. So 33,000. Now, what you can do, if you don't have focus on singular or focus on non-attribute, and you're starting out with Enzo, I recommend Technician. What Technician is going to do is going to give you your skill power modifier and then now, because this is on the front end, it's just showing skill power modifier, not taking into account the non-attribute skill power modifier or the singular skill power modifier. Technician will counteract maximum duration. If you don't have enough slots, you can run Technician, and now it's in the green and you'll be doing damage. Now, I'm going to show you now. We'll do one at a time. So the first is focus on singular, because it's the drone's a singular damage type. Now it's still saying 0, but it's not going to be 0. So when we pop it, it is doing damage now. I would say 20k per hit, pretty good, but we can even get that further up. So the first one was 33k without anything for the burst, and then now that was 53, but now we're gonna put on the non-attribute. Now we just gotta wait for the drone. And here you go. Look at that damage. It basically almost doubled. So now this is so far the best I've come up with. As far as the last slot, I have a few different options. We could go with Agony, right? More MP, more defense. I was also thinking, because Enzo has a 10% skill critical hit rate, you could actually go with skill insight. So at max, it'll be 100%, and it'll basically take that 10%, times that by 100, and it'll be 20%. So you're gonna have a 20% skill critical hit rate. You could go with this one. You could also you could go with front lines, so you'll have your skill critical hit rate and damage. I was also thinking, as a last module, you could go with not auto immunity. Where's the incoming? You could go with psychological victory, because your MP recovery, try to get an MP as much as possible when you're out of combat. Now there is one other one that someone recommended to me in the chat. I was also thinking Enlightenment, just for more MP, because you want to be popping this drone as much as possible, and you're gonna need MP to do that. Frugal mindset. So I was also thinking about skill cost. So for the last one, we could go with strong mentality. I was also thinking maximize conservation. This will have a lot of skill cost reduction, but also at the expense of your skill power modifier. But we already have so much skill power modifier going on that the damage will most likely be minuscule. So I was also thinking this. But the last one I was that someone recommended, and I will show as a demonstration, is multi-talented. Now, multi-talented is an interesting module. I don't know if I will recommend it just yet. I have to do a lot more testing, but from the testing that I've done, because we are a singular and a dimension character, whenever it says the first part, whenever you use a dimension active skill, basically your drone, because it has to be active, you're gonna get 20.5% skill cooldown. for 5 seconds. In order for this to work, you would have to pop the drone and then pop your support. Your ultimate, in order to apply that 20% skill cooldown. Now, when you use a singular skill, active skill, all attribute damage plus 30% for 5 seconds. Now, I'll show you how this works. You would have to pop it, and then you see the green cooldown, and then you gotta pop this, and then you pop your ultimate, and it will be, just look at the bar, it's going so fast. Now the problem with this is that you cannot rotate this, because if I keep putting my drone to heal me, it's not applying the extra cooldown, because you would have to pop something, you have to pop a skill while that 5-second skill cooldown is activated. Anything outside of that, it's not going to get the skill cooldown. So you have to basically pop everything within this 5 seconds, and if you try to reapply it while another skill's on cooldown, it's not going to work. So that's why I'm kind of iffy on this, because if you're going to be spamming skills, you're going to need MP for this, and I just don't know if this is necessary for the last module. But you guys let me know what you think, if you guys been testing it as well, because I'm just not entirely sold on it. It sounds like a great idea. I just wish that every time you popped it, you'll gain your skill cooldown, or if you flip flop between each status that it gives you. Alright, so now that was the build. Now let's go over the reactor. So we use the Thunder Cage as our main DPS weapon. So when we have the Thunder Cage mounted, meaning it's in your hand, we're going to get non-attribute skill power boost ratio and singular skill power boost ratio. And as you can see, the drone and the supply crate is higher than the drone and the missile. Then for I rolled a great non-attribute skill power boost ratio, but the second one's okay. I wish I had a better roll. I have to wait till the reset now to get a better reactor. For the components, you want, honestly, defense and max HP. And then for the defense and max HP, so defense first, then max HP second, or vice versa, whatever you can roll. I think defense first as the main, because it'll always roll at the highest, and then max HP secondary. And then the third one, like MP recovery out of combat, or even 2 MP recovery out of combat, and then 2 max MP. So as you can see, I have here defense, 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 and max HP right here. As you can see, I have defense, defense. You try to roll 2. Defense, max HP, and then I'm trying to find MP recovery out of combat, or MP recovery in combat, or max MP, because you need MP to, play your skills. So in totality, I have 43k defense, 720 max shield, almost 12k HP, which could go higher if I rolled another max HP instead of the shield here, and then 346 max MP. And now for the weapons, I have the Thunder Cage, the Tamer for hitting weak points, and then the Sniper Rifle to hit those little stupid damage phases where you gotta hit the things off of the bosses. Because these are my 2 main weapons, honestly, I'll go over the Thunder Cage and what I have on it. So I have so for bossing, you leave this slot open. You don't mod it with the catalyst. You keep this open. Why? Because you want to swap between each boss. You want to swap the chill with the electric, or swap the chill with the fire, or swap the fire with the toxic. You want to keep this slot free. At least that is my opinion. I could be wrong, but this will significantly add more DPS when you use the enhancement status effect of what they're weak to. So I would say keep this open, because if you put a catalyst, then you have to choose one of these, and then you can use the other ones. You'll waste a lot of slots. We have better concentration for crit hit damage, rifling reinforcement for firearm attack, better insight for critical hit rate, action and reaction, fire rate 25%, reload insight. You'll gain reload speed and crit insight focus. You'll get crit rate, crit damage, and then concentrate support ammo, which is more rounds and critical hit damage. So in totality, the DPS is 444,000. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is wrong, this isn't right, but if you just hit weapon info, here are all your stats. So the base damage when I hit anything is around 21k, and we could test this by by shooting this guy. You see, it's doing about 26,000. Now some things are being added, like the chill enhancement. Also take into account what I wrote on it, right? So firearm, critical hit damage, electric attack. So it's gonna be more than this value anyway, but this is your base value, and then all the multipliers will be added onto it after. For the tamer, I have, weak point damage, firearm attack, recoil, and bonus firearm attack versus Colossus. And then we have rifling reinforcement, weak point sight, fire rate up, more rounds, expand weapon charge, action and reaction, and then will be your the element that you're gonna use against the boss. And that's the build, guys. Oh, last thing. I did release a focus fire build. So when you so let's look at the Transcendent mods for Enzo really quick. So focus fire, it basically changes your drone to a drone that only attaches to yourself, but it has a longer duration, and on top of that you have you get double the missiles, and you can extend the duration of this, and I'll show you right now. You can extend the duration by critting, which is great when you use a Thunder Cage. So as you can see, the duration is 26 seconds, the cooldown's 40 seconds, and you can extend the duration as much as possible. Now I would say this is your solo build, right? Do not use this. You can use this in teams if you don't want to supply ammo to your teammates. Go ahead, use focus fire. You'll literally have this up almost the entire time, and if you got to redo it, you just put it on again. And actually, if you use focus fire, this is where I would think the other mod would be good, because you're just being selfish, multi-talented, because you'll gain that 30% extra damage for 5 seconds, at least in the initial part. And then you could use other skills for the cooldown and all that stuff. So yeah, so focus fire is definitely a selfish type of Enzo build, but hey, more DPS, right? You can't go wrong with that. The only problem is that your teammates will unfortunately not have ammo. So pick and choose what you want to do. Now, what I've been trying to do is farm his other Transcendent mod. And I think this one will be a lot better. Supply tactical armor. So this basically changes your passive, right? And it says whenever Enzo buffs an ally, he'll grant himself and all allies basically damage reduction and movement speed up. I think this one was going to be better than the original passive, because you buff everybody with your ultimate. So once you buff everybody with your ultimate, they're going to get damage reduction and movement speed. I have not been able to get this yet. Must have done so many times. But where you get this is in Sterile Land in hard mode, or in the Agnan Desert in hard mode, and you must open it with Enzo. So make sure you open it with Enzo. If you want to farm those ultra precision modifiers, the best place that I've been doing it is in Sterile Land, and you come over here and farm the anticipated ambush point, and you'll have a lot of every 5 runs you get like 1, I believe, or something like that, or 1 out of 10 runs. It ramps up, like you're gonna get a lot of them, and then by the time you get 5, you go and try and find the Ultra Vault, and then see if you get it. But I have not been able to get it at all still, even while making this video right now. The other 2, I don't think they're going to be that good, so I wouldn't recommend trying to go for it. I mean, you can if you want. This one will just change your supply crate, your first ability, and when your allies grab it, they'll gain weak point damage and fire critical rate, which, I mean, could be good, but you're not giving them ammo. But you'll have ammo with the ultimate, so I would say these 2, one or the other, whichever one you want. I would not recommend this one because it'll replace your shield, I believe. So you won't have anything to heal yourself with the shield. So anyway, I would definitely focus fire if you're a solo character, and then one of these 2 for team play. And that's the build, guys. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next video.